So, is there a better example right now of the dysfunction brought on by woke ideological capture than Disney? Because Disney absolutely has gone woke, and it looks like Disney is going broke and they can't seem to figure it out. And I keep seeing stories like this, the four flops of 2023 that cost Disney $1 billion. Analyst estimates that Disney has lost $900 million on last 8 studio releases. How about this one? Disney loses billions at the box office. Now, they're not all saying the exact same thing, but they're painting the same picture. The Walt Disney Company has had a rough time at the box office for a year and a half. Poor numbers with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Strange World, Lightyear, and others have caused the studio to lose hundreds of millions with each film. Looks like Haunted Mansion is going to bomb as well. The film may lose the studio another $225 million, bringing Disney's total to a nearly $2 billion loss at the box office over the past 15 months. Yeah, it seems like pretty much everything they're doing is failing, and it makes one wonder if taking a family brand, a company that makes family entertainment, and then deciding to very proudly announce yourself as essentially part of the woke revolution, maybe, just maybe, for a family brand, that's not a great idea. Not when parents are angry already about drag queens reading to kindergartners and teachers telling their kids they may be born in the wrong body. Maybe you don't want to be viewed as part of that revolution. And yet, apparently, they just can't stop. They don't seem to know what else to do. Here, backlash to Snow White actress woke comments could tank Disney remake, experts say. Well, I think the trend, at least for Disney, has been set. Disney has made a bad name for itself. And at this point, it's going to take an about face for Disney, a very vocal one, for them to win back trust. And this ain't going to do it. So before we even get into the comments, we just have to start with the casting. Snow White, she ain't all that Snow White, is she? Would seem to be a pretty important detail in the story of Snow White. And then another very important casting choice, Disney's live-action Snow White under fire for replacing 7 dwarfs with magical creatures of all sizes and genders. Because I guess dwarfs playing dwarfs in a movie that has dwarfs in it is offensive somehow. So they've got 1 dwarf now, and then I guess, 6 Berkeley gender studies majors. So, just not off to a good start, right? And then we get to this.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this film.
So Snow White isn't a fan of Snow White. Okay.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
Yeah, very evidently so. I guess that's why it's been so hated through the decades, right up to today, and why they're remaking it now.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time. Cast a guy in the movie.
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Yeah, so the prince might not be in the movie, and the whole thing is just so dated and old. All those little girls who liked it back in the 30s and ever since then, they must all be idiots, right? Or maybe they have internalized patriarchy. But anyway, let's get to know Rachel Zegler even better.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
So she's being paid millions of dollars and having the door held wide open for a career in film to make millions of more dollars. I don't know. It feels a little bit ungrateful to me and a little bit unlikable, especially for people who aren't one of the most privileged people in the world.
It's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that
She's
is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. Reality is that the cartoon was made 85.
Yeah, that's right, because people, and females especially, hate the idea of true love. Ooh, gross. It's obviously so ridiculous. There's obviously nothing timeless about these kinds of stories, something that would have made them enduring classics for decades. No, every girl has to be taught that what they really want is to climb the corporate ladder. And when that doesn't work out, because not everybody is obviously going to be a CEO, they'll still have their one-bedroom apartment and I guess all of those cats. I mean, all in all, it's just a totally inspiring message, isn't it? Now, I don't actually think we should be too hard on the actress because she's young. And I know when I was that age, I was at least as much of an idiot as she is, probably more. So she's young, she's around a Hollywood crowd. She didn't write the script. She's not deciding on if the prince is cut from the movie or whether or not the dwarfs are dwarfs. You know, she's very likely just regurgitating everything she's been told by the producers, by the director, by the writers. And if they told her how important it was to honor the original content with a faithful retelling, you know she'd say that. Or she would if she wanted to keep the role, I'm assuming. But while we're on the topic of the people who are actually making this movie, and the people who decided that Snow White, who's supposed to be white as snow, I mean, it's right in the name there, the people who decided that Snow White that should not be white as snow, I have to wonder, why stop? Why stop there? I mean, this is an attractive, thin, young actress. Are they not promoting thin privilege? I mean, obviously there will be some who will watch this movie and find her lithe figure positively oppressive. I mean, was Lizzo too busy? Because look, I mean, the clear message from this is that Snow White has always been just, well, too darn white. But I'm going to go a step further and say she's also just been too beautiful. And people who aren't beautiful, seeing people that are beautiful, it makes them feel bad. And surely that's got to be oppression somehow, right? I mean, that's probably the patriarchy, I'm assuming. So I feel a Get Woke, Go Broke coming on. It may not have even mattered if they hadn't done this with this movie because the Disney brand is so tarnished at this point from their past woke indulgences. But I think this kind of stuff, this guarantees it. And good. I want Disney to go out of business. I want it to disappear and be a warning to everybody else. And if you enjoy watching a good Get Woke, Go Broke implosion, then I'm sure this movie is guaranteed to entertain. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. Sharing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.